The moment our fellow geeks, dweebs, nerds, and other unfortunates have been fervently waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for TMI, Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerf Herder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker. And now, let's get on with the show. Here is TMI.
Oh, that's right.
And then ran to Danbury to check out the
IMAX
there. Yeah, IMAX.
Ooh, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
So
welcome back. Welcome, everybody.
Yes. Yeah, we're on the podcast. I will be hearing all about that.
You will. I'll be
fantastic.
Talking about Superman.
Ooh. This is oh man, I feel like it was just last year. It was like July of last year. It was like, oh, James Gunn starts filming.
Yeah.
What's this going to be? I don't know if my expectations were anywhere. It was just like, oh, all right, James Gunn's got the control of DCU, and he's rebooting Superman again with unknown gentleman.
You can't really fault him for that, because how many times has Spider-Man been rebooted already?
Oh, I'm not blaming him in any way, shape, or form. I just think it's exciting. I mean, unfortunately, we were very happy to just keep him on the Marvel side of things.
Yeah.
And, you know, people got to be people.
Yep.
And one thing led to another. He left Marvel. DC said, psst, why don't you come over here? Hey. So
yeah, DC was not having the greatest luck with the Snyderverse, shall we call it.
He's got adamant supporters out there.
I know. I was hesitant to even say that, because I can hear it now.
These people? No, some of this online chatter right now is insane. And it's just like, did I see the same movies you did? Because I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Listen, we all have our favorite directors. We all have somebody we're going to die on a hill for. Snyder's not one of them. He just doesn't do it for me.
No, for me neither. You know, for a little while there, it was touch and go. Is Henry Cavill going to still be Superman, even though James Gunn is taking over? I've seen him now, 3-4 times as Snyder's iteration of Superman, and I don't know if it would work at all in this tone that James Gunn has set. Yeah,
he took himself a little too seriously.
Yeah. Well, it could, as an actor, he could very well be capable of it, but I just never saw it.
We've seen him in other stuff.
Yeah,
he looked pretty good as that alternate reality Wolverine for 2 seconds.
Yes, he did.
No, I wouldn't want to see an entire Wolverine movie with him.
But we're talking today about David Corenswet, who is our new Man of Steel.
Wait, who? I've never even heard of this kid. Educate me, because I have no clue.
Let's see. He was in House of Cards, which was that Netflix show that initially starred Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Who also played Lex Luthor. Hold on.
Also played lead roles in the Netflix series The Politician and Hollywood, both created by Ryan Murphy, who was behind Glee and American Horror Story, as we know.
That is true.
Starred in the films Look Both Ways and Pearl. So he was the guy.
Oh, he was the guy. He was the kid in Pearl.
The projectionist.
Yes, I do remember. Now that we covered that movie, we did talk about the fact that that's our new Superman right there.
And he had supporting roles in Twisters, which was the reboot of Twister that came out not too long ago, and the miniseries The Lady in the Lake. So yeah, he's been around. And in some cases, we haven't even realized. Yeah, a victim of Mia Goth in Pearl.
Well, no one can hold a candle to that girl. You just shrink into the background. I had never heard of the girl playing Lois Lane either. Rachel.
Oh no, I'm quite familiar with her because she was on The Fabulous Mrs. Maisel.
Okay, I do know she's the main character.
Yeah.
So this is DC's big reboot. We need to right the ship. Let's clean slate. Give James Gunn and his buddy, who was the other guy that they hired. I don't remember his name.
Peter Safran.
Peter Safran. Let's give them the reins. They are the new Kevin Feige of DCU.
Yeah.
If that's apt.
And as you said, this is their opening shot in the DCU.
So we've seen in the trailers, unless you're like Jim and you hide your eyes and you only listen to it, that there were some other DC characters getting thrown in here. Were they going to be just throwaways to establish that there's a larger universe, or are they part of the bigger story? And I think I went on record twice saying, they're going to show up in the opening sequence. You're going to fight off some bad monster or whatever, and then you're not going to hear from them again.
Nope.
Not the case.
Not the case. Not the case at all. And before we get any further, I just want to point out that we will spoil this movie. So if you haven't seen it yet.
I mean, it's been out for 3 days.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we will be spoiling it. I had a friend who is an art professor. And he's very much, he was like, I don't know about this. I like, he gave me crap because I was like, they're using the John Williams score. And he told me that they were playing me. Don't get emotional just because they're throwing that out there. And
they were all in on that John Williams score, not just the trailer. It is all throughout the movie.
Yes.
Itself.
Yeah. But I think that it merges enough that it's not distracting. You don't immediately go right to Christopher Reeves.
Well, I've said this before, that, and maybe this is as good a time as any to talk about this, is that modern movie soundtracks don't have that hook that the classics used to. Like, you could hear, Jurassic Park theme, you could hear Superman theme, you could hear Raiders of the Lost Ark, you could hear Star Wars, and immediately know what that is.
You just named every soundtrack that John Williams wrote.
There's a few others. Harry Potter. I don't think he did Harry Potter, did he?
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes,
wow.
He did.
Is he the only one capable of making a memorable movie soundtrack? Because otherwise, the rest of the music in this is pretty much undistinguishable from Thunderbolts or any other Marvel.
Until you start hitting into that Williams score. No, this guy's a friggin' auteur. He is a genius. This is like Drew Struzan, who painted every movie poster in the last 30 years, and he retires, and everyone is just a pale comparison.
I just want to quantify, the music isn't bad. It's just not memorable. It's there to service what you're seeing. Like, during an action sequence, you'll just hear dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
but that's not, a melody or memorable in any way.
Agreed. But like you said, it's serviceable. This is right out of the gate. I don't know what I'm going to get into, because we know James Gunn has got a very quirky sensibility about him. We've seen it in its works, gangbusters with Guardians of the Galaxy. But does it work in Superman universe? You can't have Superman being quirky. You can't have Superman being whimsical, I guess.
Well, he kind of is. That's what Gunn brought to it, right?
So this is the quandary that I think some people are having. Back to my friend, the art professor, gave it I think it's like an 8 out of 10 movie, but as a Superman movie, it's a 5. And so I really need to delve deeper with him.
I get that because I was having mixed emotions as well. But before we get there, I just wanted to give a little bit of background to my theater going experience.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you said IMAX, huh?
Saw this in IMAX at the Danbury AMC. I got there about a half an hour before showtime. So I was there pretty early. And still, when I, went up to the screen and I chose my own seat, they only had single seats available.
Wow. And
I had to sit in the second row from the bottom. The theater was packed. And there were people cosplaying. There were people dressed in full Superman outfits in the theater.
I had a few people. My theater was not sold out by any means, but the handful of people who did walk in, most of them had a Superman shirt on with the new logo. With the new logo. Matter of fact, the guy sat in one seat next to me and then wanted to have a conversation.
Are these Johnny-come-latelys? Is that what this means? It's like, oh,
listen, whatever. You know what? All on board. Whatever.
But
I don't know.
my theater was packed, as I say.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So, when it's packed like this, when it's an event movie that everybody feels that they have to see, via word of mouth or whatever, you're getting a lot of people that don't normally go to the movies, right?
Oh, you got some bad behavior?
Well, no, it wasn't bad behavior. It was just amusing behavior because you always know it wasn't a Regal, first of all. This was an AMC, and my theater is a Regal normally. And Regal always has that Starry commercial, the Starry soft drink.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
With the lemon and the lime that have the banter back and forth.
It's music to my ears.
Music to my ears. You don't have ears. You can always tell the people that never go to the movies that laugh at that.
That laugh at that?
Yeah. So, conversely, in AMC, they don't show that Starry commercial. There was a preview for the new Cat in the Hat animated.
Oh, yes.
When Thing 1 and Thing 2, jump out of the box. All these things are jumping out of the box. So it's Thing 1, Thing 2, Thing 3, Thing 4, 5, Thing 6, Thing 7. And the guy behind me is like, oh, that's a lot of things. He's concerned.
What did the cat do? Oh, these kids are going to get in trouble. Did he never read the book?
I guess not. It's going to be a surprise to him. Spoiler free.
Well, listen, in the book, it's only Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Yeah.
So he probably thought maybe this was a new sequel, and he's like, crap, I didn't read the other 8 books. Yes. That's always entertaining. I'm more surprised the guy next to me who was in there 20 minutes, half an hour beforehand. As soon as the credits roll, he got up and walked out. I'm like, have you not learned anything 75%. In the last 25 years?
My theater, IMAX stadium seating, packed. 75% of the audience left during the credits.
Now, I'm going to say right now, it's not worth sitting through the credits.
No, it's not.
There's nothing. This is a complete and utter reboot. So you're hoping you're going to dangle a Superman or a Batman in front of me. You're going to dangle a Wonder Woman, something, maybe. Nothing.
No, there is a scene. So let's.
Well, there is it, but it's in the movie.
Yeah, it's just based on
the movie itself. But you're not getting any additional. Hey, look what we got coming up.
It's just a jokey end scene. Yeah, to send you out with a smile. That's about it.
Yeah, but not worthy. I mean, at this point, I think it's just make them sit in their seat. This is the first end credits I saw that listed the entire orchestra. Every person that played an oboe or bassoon. Normally,
they don't normally do that. They don't have
they just say it's London Symphony Orchestra or something.
And then it says below that, you know who you are.
right. We see you. So you've seen the trailers, the little teasers, the nice shots of 4 shots of him flying through the Antarctic.
Bloodied, as if he's just been beaten to a pulp. And this is what opens the movie.
Yeah, literally, we're just jumping right into the commercial.
But you get all these
opening scroll.
3 decades ago, the baby arrives on Earth. 3 years ago, Superman appears as Superman. Then they start throwing these fake country names at you, and I'm like, I'm losing track as I'm reading.
Yeah, no, it was. They, like you said, they were bite-sized nuggets, but they were still like, all right, because it starts out with metahumans. Mutants?
No, that's right. It started 3 centuries ago. The first metahumans appear. So this is just another word for super people, right?
Well, mutants, yeah. Hybrid, but he's not a metahuman. He's an alien.
This is true. He's a meta-alien, I guess you could call him.
I don't know. Did all Kryptonians
Well, maybe metahuman means beyond human, so literally he would be.
Well, I think they made mention of him once as a metahuman, and I think that's part of the people are complaining about this nomenclature that's been attached. This is like midichlorian counts in the Force. It's like you're diving too deep.
I was diving too deep on a couple of things too, but we'll get to those.
Yeah. So immediately he plummets to the icy ground, bloodied, as you mentioned, bloodied and beat up.
And the last legend, the last thing that shows up on screen, this is the first time he's been beaten in a fight. Whatever it is, threw him from wherever, Metropolis, into the Arctic.
Well, I got the impression that he was trying to make his way back to the Fortress of Solitude. That would be very fortuitous if he got punched right back to his home front door, because he wasn't that far off.
Wouldn't it
dog
be
didn't
cool
have to
though?
do too much work.
Because the dog ends up because he whistles for the dog.
Oh, he does that
Where is
super
this
high-
dog otherwise? Where
I
does
don't
the
know.
dog hang out?
This dog steals this whole damn movie, and he's not a real dog at all. This dog is completely CG.
Yeah, I don't think there's one shot of a real dog.
No,
in
what
here
they
for
did,
Crypto.
from what I understand, James Gunn does have a rescue dog, Oku, I think his name is, and they did a 3D scan of this dog. And in some of the interviews, he talks about how miserable it was for them to hold the dog down to do a 3D scan on this thing. It's like, what are you abusing this dog for? And I will say, we just fostered a dog for a week. And I had to walk around with my hands around my crotch the entire time because at any minute, this dog could actually just nip at you. And I'm like, so this dog, I found this extra funny.
So what does this mean? That they sent a dog back with the baby as well as a baby girl? Like, was there 3 in this shuttle that came back?
I don't think so. I think so. All right, you're already jumping ahead because the one thing we learned at the end of this movie is that Crypto is not his dog. It's Supergirl's, who is some intergalactic party girl. And she's been out on a bender this entire movie. She comes home, looks like she's hungover, like she just came home from the prom. And she pick up her dog. Thanks for watching my dog.
I'm not as well versed in DC, so I don't know what her backstory is. Like if she came separately or if she came with
she came
him.
years later, his cousin. But I don't know. It looks like they're definitely going to play fast and loose.
Did it take 15 years for Krypton to blow up?
Listen, if you find out that your parents are putting you in a spaceship, just like, wait a minute, I have a baby as well. How come I can't put mine in a spaceship? Yeah. We all got baby spaceships. I get this is what we have to find out in the next movie because Supergirl is the next movie on the docket. So that's our tease. So my assumption is we are going to get answers and more Crypto. I do want to say I loved David Corenswet.
Yes, he is great. The way that he can express empathy, and the way he gets
empathy, that's a bad word.
He gets emotional about it.
We've been told numerous times lately that empathy is a sign of weakness.
Well, no,
even beyond
that, because he gets angry about it. Because there's that interview scene between him and Lois Lane,
which I think is brilliant. This introduction between him and Lois Lane, and they do this interview. I'm like, she's right. I was completely on board with this entire conversation. And this is something that maybe in the comic books has been discussed, but on screen, we have never seen this level of discussion about, all right, just because you came from this other planet and you think that you have a right to make everything peaceful, you can't just go flying around and make this unilateral decisions.
Well,
globally.
Yeah, his decision-making process is called into question, which never has been before, cinematically at least. He always knew what to do, and it was always the right thing to do. Yeah. But now,
and at the end of the movie, he's proven right.
But she's making him question himself.
Yeah, and boy, I loved the two of these together. So you find out really quickly that Lois and Clark, she already knows he's Superman. And that they've been dating for 3 weeks, maybe at the most. So back to this idea that he's empathetic and that he's questioning and that he's emotional. To me, this is a guy still trying to figure out who and what Superman is, and not on a Man of Steel, I need to kill Zod bullcrap. He's new at this. He just got his ass handed to him. And I, for one, love this take.
I liked this guy's performance, David Corenswet. Whether or not it's my favorite Superman performance is...
it's hard. It's, again, this is like, taking your dad to go watch 007 and it's Pierce Brosnan. And you're like, whoa, it's no Sean Connery.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, I hate to say you can't look back. The poster literally says, look up, man. You got to it's a new iteration. You got to just go with it. I connected with this guy on a level that I never did with Henry Cavill or Brandon Routh for that matter.
It does take you back to the Superman of old, meaning Christopher Reeve.
Now, don't forget,
although this guy, he's not doing, it's not like Brandon Routh where he's doing Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, and I think that's was the detriment. You had mentioned who directed that? You just mentioned his name. Bryan Singer. Yeah. There was definitely a level of empathy with that character as well. But you're right. He was hired, I think, because he had that Christopher Reeve,
and he was supposed to be that version of Superman.
Yes, correct. Yeah, right.
That's to be fair. Yeah,
big shoes to fill.
As you said, this opening sequence, you've seen it all in the trailer. The Fortress of Solitude comes out of the ice. So I was thinking to myself, wait, does this just appear wherever he is up there in Antarctica? That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
If it's moving.
Home is where the heart is.
Because then nobody would be able to find it.
Right. Yeah. How Lex Luthor has never figured this out until this point.
Where it is, yeah.
Because you have whatever. You could have just tracked him at some point.
But Krypto drags him to the fortress, and then the doors open. The robots that all man the fortress when Superman's not home.
So did Alan Tudyk just corner the market on robot voices?
I knew exactly who that was the second that thing opened.
Is this guy typecast now as a robot? What is going on here? And I think these robots were introduced during the John Byrne run in the 80s, but I could be wrong. Again, my superhero knowledge when it comes to DC and especially Superman, I read like when the death of Superman, and then there was the 4 different Supermen came back and nobody knew who was the real one. I was on board for that whole thing. Doomsday, beating him up and stuff like that. But apparently there's, he went deep in the lore. We were given a little exposition that his glasses, he wears hypno glasses. And that's why people can't recognize him as Superman, because it distorts his face.
I'd like to see what people see then.
I would like to see, because, who is she falling in love with? Every time he takes the glasses off, she sees somebody different.
I guess so.
This is Wonder Woman 84 level crap right here.
Unless, once he kissed her, that was just like in Superman 2.
Oh, maybe.
Now the spell is broken.
She sees it for who he is. You know what? I could tell it was him all along because he kept wearing his underwear on the outside of his pants. It's like, Clark, you can't do that.
So Alan Tudyk isn't the only famous voice actor voicing these robots. We also have Michael Rooker in there doing the voice.
I had to see this when I was doing my research. I had no clue.
And Palm Clementif, who is Mantis from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
What did they say when the robots brought him in and they scanned him? Like most of his bones were broken, like his liver was ruptured or something.
Yeah, he was pretty beat up.
So all he needs, though, to get him back on his feet again is a shot of direct sunlight.
Yeah, which we know. He gets his power from the yellow sun.
Yep. So they open like the big screen door up on the ceiling. The sun comes through, and it's like a painful process. You hear bones uncracking and stuff like that, and he's screaming in pain as he heals. As soon as he's better, he's back to the fray. But this begs the question, and I always wondered this about Superman. So when it's nighttime, shouldn't he not have powers?
Well, I think he stores it. It's like a battery. You can be charged because he was only 80. So he went to go back to fight this creature that he was fighting at the beginning of the movie. And the robot told him straight up, you're only at 80%. This thing already beat you at 100%. How do you think you're going to fare? But he's a battery. Eventually he's going to drain. I don't think he becomes like a weak baby at night.
When the elemental man shut off the kryptonite, he couldn't do anything because there was no sun.
That is true. But at that point he was being drained.
Yeah, well.
This is like when you leave your phone in the sun and it gets really hot and overheats. And then the iPhone says, you can't use this. And that was Metamorpho, by the way, who is a deep cut character because I think he showed up in Batman and the Outsiders again.
You mean the elemental 80s guy? The elemental
correct.
Man? Terrible names on some of these DC characters, by the way.
After a while, they ran out of weren't all that creative. Metamorpho. It's a mouthful, but
Mr. Terrific?
Mr. Terrific. I kept calling him Mr. Incredible.
Mr. T.
So I was supposed to Mr. T. He did have a T on his face.
Well, he called everything T. Like he preceded everything with T.
But Mr. Terrific is terrific. He's fantastic. I love this guy. I don't know anything about this character.
And we should also point out that while Superman is healing, because this is a big plot point, to soothe him, he replays the message from his parents that they recorded before they sent him off as a baby.
Which we've seen. Marlon Brando. I mean, I'm assuming this is, you're not going to send your kid to another planet and not give him some instructions. But Yeah, we're told this little message, which we don't understand because it's an Kryptonian, soothes him, but it's damaged. So we only see like partial message.
The beginning of it, so we don't see what they say at the end.
Yeah. Now, did you pick up on the fact that Jor-El is actually Bradley Cooper?
Did I pick up on that fact?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
I did not.
What do you mean you did
I did
not?
not. If that was a Rocket Raccoon, I did not recognize him at all. I was on board for the story. I was not paying attention to the actual actor.
That was as soon as he came on, I'm like, oh, I didn't say that's Jor-El. I'm like, that's Bradley Cooper. But they're saying how like that he's sent here, that he's going to be very powerful on Earth, that he could do good. So that's the message that he sees every time he replays it. But again, there's something that garbles it at the end, so he doesn't hear what they say at the very end of the message. So that's always a mystery. So you think to yourself, I bet you we're going to find out what they say at the end before this movie is over with.
So he goes back to fight. So he's 80%. He's not fully charged. But he goes back to fight this robot juggernaut-looking guy that was beating the crap out of him in Metropolis.
So one of these countries that is mentioned in the legend, the words that come up at the beginning, is Baravia. So this robot is something from, they say, is something from Baravia. So I'm thinking to myself, this is pretty lame that this robot guy can beat Superman as bad as it did, because it doesn't look that impressive when Superman flies back and you see what it was that actually sent him packing. But he still can't beat it. And then the reason is that Lex Luthor is controlling it. So Lex Luthor, who is obsessed with Superman and metahumans, has been studying Superman so closely that he knows Superman's every move. So he can anticipate what Superman is going to do in a fight. So he is feeding fight moves.
There's like a whole bank of people. There's like 15, 20 people in this control tower that are monitoring this entire fight. Yeah, it's like Street Fighter. B1, XX2. And then they just execute the move, and all of a sudden Superman's getting his ass kicked.
And it's all political, because Lex Luthor kind of wants to nefariously prove to the world that Superman is a threat. And that's what this whole scheme is all about. But I'm thinking, if you can beat him so badly, why didn't you just kill him when you had the chance? He ruptured his liver. One more punch, I'm sure, would have killed him.
I don't know. This is like the Batman Joker. You made me, I made you. You kill me. What's your purpose in life going to be? I don't know. So Nicholas Hoult, who we have seen, he was in that Marvel universe. He played Beast in First Class, as did Mr. Terrific, for that matter. He was a character who was killed off pretty early. So, but Nicholas Hoult, I thought, was fantastic. He was really chewing up the scenery here. He was a little unhinged, which I guess is how you want your Lex Luthor. He seems kind of young to be like this multi-billionaire mogul, but we don't really find out how he got his money.
But we find out that there is a method to Lex's madness, because when Superman flies back to the fortress to heal, he sends another one of his minions back following him to figure out where the fortress is, which is the engineer. No, it's not from Prometheus. It is more like a Big Hero 6 nanobots kind of.
Yeah, very much. No, that's a good call right there.
So, the engineer, she is very nasty, and she can control nanobots, and kind of like a Green Lantern type power, where she can summon her nanobots and make them any shape and do anything that she wants to. So she finds the fortress after Superman goes, and then leads everybody else right to it.
Yeah, which in pretty much every movie iteration, Lex Luthor finds out where the Fortress of Solitude is.
And we also get a Snake Eyes looking guy called Ultraman. And no, it's not that Ultraman either. And you think to yourself, okay, this guy's probably going to get unmasked before the end of the movie.
Yes. He's the guy that was in the suit.
Yeah. He was the Hammer. He was the Hammer of Baravia.
The Hammer. Yep, you are right.
It's revealed that Lex is working with this evil country of Bavaria because they were about to invade their neighbor. Superman came and stopped it, and Lex is trying to prove that Superman almost started a world war by doing that. But yet he's working with Bavaria and orchestrated the whole thing.
Yes.
So
you've got this beautiful interaction. The next day, Clark Kent shows up at the Daily Bugle. No, I'm sorry, the Daily Planet. And that's where we're introduced to Lois Lane. You got Jimmy Olsen. You got Perry White. But then you get this nice interplay between Clark and Lois. And that's where you realize that they had been dating. She comes home and he's already there cooking her dinner. But she calls him out because he says, oh, it's like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Oh, I took pictures of Spider-Man. Well, how are you always there to have pictures with him? How are you always able to get this nice interview with Superman? And so you find out she knows, and she's like, dude, you got to chill. You're going to ruin it. Everyone's going to figure this out.
And you know that Clark is just throwing softballs to Superman during his interview.
Well, she literally says that to him at some point. She's like, wait, he goes, I've already given you a longer interview than I have with him. She goes, so you time out your imaginary interviews? But she gives him the hard questions. Like you said, like, what gives you the right to just fly over here to this other country and intervene?
He's getting really mad. He's like,
he is getting mad because he believes that he has a purpose. So this is the interesting thing, which is, and it's been explored before in other books. If Superman had landed in any other country, say he landed in Russia, say he landed in North Korea, his mentality and his morals would be completely different than what he was raised as an American. And he would still think that he's doing the right thing.
Yes, he would.
So he believes, and especially because of this message that his parents have left, even though it's garbled, that he is sent here for a purpose. And this is where I'm thinking, this is where I pick up on the fact that I feel like he's pretty new to this. Like maybe he just left Smallville. He hasn't been in the city that long. It sounds like he has not.
At the beginning, it said he was, for 3 years, he had been Superman.
3 years. Okay. That's still pretty new.
Yeah, it is.
Jimmy made mention that, him and Lois had only been dating for like 3 weeks or something like that. So up to that point, I don't know.
I'm thinking to myself, how many people is he telling that he's Clark Kent?
Yeah, I don't think
Lois already.
Yeah.
Although I think the Justice Gang knew, right? Didn't the Justice Gang know?
Because Guy Gardner ruins it. He goes, well, you know, those are hypno glasses, right? They're just faking you. She goes, why are you telling me this? If I didn't know already. Oh, so you know he's Clark Kent? What the? Are you an idiot? Mr. Terrific, you got Hawkgirl, and then you have Guy Gardner, who is this world's Green Lantern.
And again, Hawkgirl is Dora, the Explorer.
All she does is scream.
So she's both the girl from The Last of Us and Dora, the Explorer. Yeah. Isabella Merced. She kind of goes to show like what the other superheroes or metahumans' attitude is towards the bad guys. They don't really care so much about them like Superman does. Like this Superman is very much about life, liberty, happiness, life underscored, because he doesn't want to kill anything. Even when he fights the big monster, the kaiju, he does not want to hurt it or kill it. He wants to put it in some intergalactic zoo. He actually goes out of his way to save a squirrel at one point. Yeah, so the interesting thing is that Superman's motto has always been truth, justice, and the American way. And apparently 2021, DC updated that, and it is now truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And that is, I don't think it's ever uttered in this movie. But yeah, like he's just trying to stop chaos. Yeah, he wants to stop this monster, even though it is causing irreparable damage throughout the city. And the monster is put in place by Lex Luthor to create a distraction for Superman, so then he can go to where his engineer found the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, so that's what they do while Superman and the Justice Gang. Wasn't Joe Walsh in the band called the Justice Gang? They go to the Fortress of Solitude. They steal the message and they decrypt with the missing portion of the message. And even worse, they kidnap Crypto, the super dog. Yeah, and this is what makes him mad more than anything. The dog. The dog. Where's the dog? Flips out. He's not even his dog. No, well, that's probably why he was freaking out. My cousin's going to come home and she's going to be so mad at me.
I don't need to get into a fight with her. She's a mean drunk.
But yeah, the Justice Gang, they do this monster dirty. They bomb him from the inside.
Yeah, we've seen this before. This is one of the two quintessential James Gunn level fight scenes. Yeah, he just wants to stop this thing because you see the two henchmen that release it, and it's probably 2.5, 3 foot tall. Yeah, it'll get bigger, and then you just the next see the thing's like 80 feet tall.
When we decipher the missing part of the message, once the monster is killed, and then we get back to Luthor, who's trying to figure out the missing man. All of his tech gurus are able to splice it back together again. That's pretty cold, some of the stuff that they're saying at the end of that message. Yeah, you can take over. Mess them up. Don't let anybody stand in your way. Kill them if you have to. I don't know if they said that, but that was basically the message.
And build up your harem. Yeah, make them yours. The bigger thing to me, that the most unbelievable aspect about this whole plot point is the fact that every single news channel took this as fact. No one questioned
immediately.
It. Yep. This is ridiculous. Superman, you remember that guy that's been saving us for the last 3 years? Just beat up that monster an hour ago? Yeah, he's here to kill us all. He's here to enslave us. And people just turn just like that. I don't believe everybody's.
How did they even know that these are his parents sitting there talking? They could have hired Bradley Cooper and shot this message.
Bradley Cooper comes in. All right, so here's what you're going to do. We're going to F with Superman right now.
Just talk gibberish for about 10 minutes, and then we'll translate it for them.
Yeah, you find out this is all one big punk from Bruce Wayne. He's like, I got you. Everybody, all these news immediately. Yep, this is fact.
And as soon as they report it, they're throwing garbage at them. As soon as they hear it. But the funny thing is that this is similar to what happens to Henry Cavill, like throughout, because that's the fear, is that he's going to take over the world. And you can half believe it with his Superman because he's just so dour and unsmiling.
Yeah, this guy can friggin' turn at any minute.
You're throwing garbage at this guy. He's a sweetheart.
But we do get some interaction with Ma and Pa Kent. And now, is this the first iteration where Pa actually lives? Doesn't he die in every movie like Uncle Ben?
To give gravitas, right?
Yeah, sure. I gotta go forward. And
but this is funny because they are like country bumpkins in this version.
Oh, very much so.
At the end, he is a voice of knowledge to Clark. But before that, it's like, what are these? Is this like the Beverly Hillbillies or something? What, who raised this guy?
Yeah, that's why he has that Midwestern mentality.
Yeah.
I got to be nice to everybody. Yeah. This is like those Geico commercials where the spy is getting beat up and his mom calls, "Squirrels are back in the attic again." It's like, mom, can I call you back? I got things to do. So we don't we don't get any of the backstory that we've seen before. Did Mom make his suit? Did it come with him? Kind of a thing. But you get enough of a flavor that they care about him. Pa's a softie, gets all emotional about him. But yeah, he has to go and hide out with Lois.
Now there's a great scene because he does, all the lights are out in her apartment, so he's laying low with Lois, and there's a scene where the Justice Gang is fighting like this big star.
This is a genius scene, and he's just like slumped in the chair going,
yeah. Well, and she's like, don't you need to help them? Oh, they got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just some intergalactic alien octopod. They got it. Yeah, so there's this raging battle going on over the city, and he's just like, oh, poor's me.
And he mentions Crypto, and she's like, it's just a dog. And at that moment, I'm like, I don't think I like this Lois Lane. Does she not understand?
She was very dismissive of the dog.
Yeah.
She's like, you have a dog?
It's just a dog.
He's not just a dog. He's a super dog.
That's not very supportive.
Yeah. But this is also, we get the little Peacemaker cameo on TV. John Cena.
Yes. So
because again, now everyone's like friggin' throwing dirt at this guy.
Peacemaker season 1 was in the DCEU. It had characters cameo from the DCEU. So are they just clean slate for season 2? Like a new Peacemaker in this reality?
It could be. Here's the other thing which I'm thinking of, because the end of this movie deals a lot with this temporal rift. Because they create a pocket universe. We're told multiple times this pocket universe is unstable. This is just going to open up a black hole. And at the end, it's literally ripping a seam right down the middle of the planet of course, right through Metropolis. And you have to say, is this going to come back and be a larger part? Is this how some of these other superheroes, just like we're going to talk about in 2 weeks with Fantastic Four, being another universe, an alternate timeline, somehow being able to seep into this universe?
Right. But that wouldn't be the case with Peacemaker because he's already there, like talking on the talk show.
Yeah, unless you're right, unless that Peacemaker comes through and suddenly you have 2 Peacemakers. I don't know. I think that this rift may just be a plot point that he could come back to. That was my takeaway. Outside of that, we never got any mention of any other superheroes. Like, there's no Batman, there's no Wonder Woman. I think there was a sign for Gotham City or something at one point, but otherwise, although we did get a Hall of Justice.
Yes, that's where they hang out. The Justice Gang.
Literally, it looks right out of the Super Friends cartoon.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So most of this was filmed in Ohio, and that is in Ohio somewhere. I think it's in Cleveland.
The Hall of Justice?
That building, yeah. That building looks just like it. Yeah.
But Superman decides to turn himself in once everybody gets afraid of him. And so Ultraman cuffs him and is very gruff with him.
Yeah, shoves his head right into the concrete.
So they put him in custody of Lex Luthor? That's how you get arrested?
Yeah, it's all some plot point just for Luthor to hide him away in this super secret pocket universe.
In the pocket universe, and he is also imprisoned all of his ex-girlfriends there and people
let's
that
talk
he doesn't
about his
like.
girlfriend. No, we haven't talked about Lex Luthor's girlfriend. Did you pick up on her last name?
No.
Tessmacher.
Really? That was really her?
Eve Tessmacher is the character's name.
Wow.
And I'm like, I didn't pick up on that at all.
No, I didn't. I don't think they ever say it in the movie.
I don't think so either, but that is how they give her credit on IMDb.
Wow.
And she's just like this vapid blonde who, for whatever reason, turns out to be Jimmy Olsen's secret connection.
Yeah, because earlier in the movie, there are these girls in the office who are all fawning over Jimmy Olsen, who is like the most geekiest guy.
I think he's got hypno glasses.
So I thought that they were going to reveal something about that before the end of the movie, but they never do.
No, Jimmy's just got that certain je ne sais quoi.
Maybe Clark set him up so he would keep his mouth shut about him.
Oh, maybe. Wow, what? Gave him well endowed.
Maybe he's got contacts. He wears the hypno contacts.
Listen, he's not the worst Jimmy Olsen we've seen. But
Miss Tessmacher is going to be super pissed at him if that's the case. If she ever finds out.
But she was all into him, and even Lois is like, "Wait, this is the girl that's trying to get in your pants?" He's like, "Yeah, it's embarrassing." It's like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Well, in the Pocket universe, you've got the Elemental Man, who is being held hostage because they've got his baby in the next cell. So they also have all of Lex Luthor's ex-girlfriends and all of his,
who talk bad about him on social media. That's all it takes.
Opponents, and he's got an army of monkeys that feed social media negative stories about Superman,
which explains a lot about social media. And that's a running joke because what was it? Super shit. Was that the hashtag?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he especially hates that one.
He was all upset about it. But it's just a bank of monkeys just randomly typing out hashtags.
Yeah.
This guy sucks. I hate this guy. And that's how you do it, baby. That's how you win elections.
Lois has to go to the Justice Gang in order to get help to rescue Superman.
Like, are we going to help this guy? Like, I don't know. I think he's here to hurt us. It's like, dude, come on.
So Mr. Terrific is the only one that goes to help. And he takes out, there's this camp right where the Pocket Universe entrance is. He's got all these little spheres. He takes out this camp effortlessly.
Yeah, this is a beautiful James Gunn moment.
This Elemental Man can make any element that he wants to. So Lex forces him to conjure up kryptonite to keep Superman placid and weak in the cell so he can't get out. And the reason the Elemental Man does this is because the baby is right in the next cell. So it turns out Elemental Man can approximate a sun with his powers. So he does so, and Superman gets his mojo back.
Gets his strength back, breaks free, saves the baby, And then we got this crazy fight sequence. We have to save Crypto, but this now rift is open with a black hole.
Because Lex has created the pocket universe, that he's opened the rift. And even though Superman gets out, they haven't stopped the rift. So now the black hole is emerging, and it's creating the chasm right through the middle of the Earth. And it's going right through Metropolis.
Which is Lex Luthor's plan?
All of his people are like, well, we have to get out of here. We're all going to die. We're going to kill Metropolis. And he's like, I'll stop it once it gets to a city I care about.
Yeah, but that didn't make any sense because it was all brought into motion when, I don't know, that it didn't seem like that was part of his plan, but he kind of like rolled with it.
So at this point, we find out that Lex is working with Baravia.
No, listen, you want to go down this road? It's Russia and Ukraine. It's basically what they're going for. And that the leader of this military might country, who's this wackadoodle, is just whatever. He's just another pawn. This is Lex Luthor in the 1978 Superman trying to blow up California so that he has beachfront property in the Midwest. He's just trying to get rid of half these people because he was promised half the country. Whatever. We're used to it at this point. Did you catch one of the characters' name is Otis Berg?
No.
Yeah, which is another callback to Warren Beatty or Ned Beatty's character in Superman.
Oh yeah.
Or Otis Berg.
So the final fight between Superman, Ultraman, and the Engineer takes place with this rift opening up in the backdrop. It's revealed that Ultraman is in fact a clone of Clark Kent, which is why he's able to beat Superman so badly, because
he's just Clark Kent with long
He
hair.
Actually looks like Anakin Skywalker.
He does indeed
Episode
look 3. Like Anakin Skywalker. I agree with you. The scraggly long hair.
But I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. So Lex scoured a Superman battlefield until he found a hair. And that's how he cloned Superman. But when you clone somebody, aren't they a baby?
Well, he probably had some accelerator.
How can you clone somebody, into a full-grown human? Because Superman grew up from a baby himself.
Yeah, you probably have an accelerator. I don't know. You're already overthinking it. It's a comic book movie, my friend.
So here's the other thing, my other quibble. During this battle, the Engineer and her nanobots try to fill Superman's lungs so he can't breathe.
And we're told numerous times he can't hold it. He can't. He's going to die. He can't breathe.
So somebody at some point says, well, can he hold his breath for an hour? Right. Which tells me that Superman does need to breathe to survive.
Sure.
How does Supergirl go from a yellow sun galaxy to a red sun galaxy and survive space travel?
Once again, you're going to have to wait until that movie comes out.
And how can Superman sit on the moon at the end with Astro if he can't breathe?
Astro?
with Crypto if he can't breathe?
He's holding his breath.
He's going to tell Crypto to hold his breath?
I don't know. Maybe you can create a little air bubble around him.
Wait a second.
I'm pretty sure at some point someone probably questioned this too. And they're like, wait a minute. How can he sit on the moon? It's a great visual. Just go with it. Come on. I saw it in a comic book once. It's good. He's
flying up into the atmosphere, into space, as she's filling his lungs. So I'm thinking, he's going to suffocate them because...
Right, in space, yeah.
But she apparently can breathe in space too, because she has no ill effects when they're in space.
No, and the other guy is just a clone of him. So sure, you can breathe for it. So
I guess the whole point of it is that his trajectory is so fast going down.
Like a meteor.
That they won't be able to survive. Well, Ultraman
because he's now completely encased in these nanobots.
So he manages to kill her when they...
well, they said she was still breathing.
But he gets the nanobots out of his mouth, at least.
Which is a lovely Superman puke scene.
Yeah.
We opened the movie with blood pouring out of his mouth. Now we got black ooze.
So now we have an extended fight between Superman and his clone. And for a while, the clone is getting the better of him because Lex is still feeding lines to him. Like, do this, do that, do this. But then that connection breaks and Superman goes to town on his clone.
Which makes me think, because there is an iteration of Lex Luthor in the comic book universe where he has a battle suit like that. and it's made out of kryptonite.
Yeah.
So they're not leaning too far out of the realm of what's gone in comic book lore. This clone learned nothing. He's just doing whatever he's being told. This is like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I guess so. Yeah.
Punch, punch, uppercut, lower cut. No cheat codes.
And in the meantime, the Justice Gang manages to ward off Baravia, and they save Jonkapur, or whatever that country was.
Yeah. Not before a bunch of little urchin children erect some Superman flags. They're like, screw all this negative crap going on. I want Superman. I need Superman.
They don't have TVs there. They don't have social media.
No, that is true. They still don't know that Superman's a bad guy now.
Yeah, if they saw the news.
On him?
Let's bring the flags down.
And this is a fun little sequence with this is how you do Guy Gardner as he's flipping the bird, giant green hands flipping the tanks. Hawk Girl screaming all over the place. She's looking for her map and Boots the monkey. So
we also get a final monologue from Lex. I created this conflict so I could kill you because I don't like metahumans.
Okay. All right. That's
you show us how weak we are.
Again, this is a you problem. So but it's not Superman who takes out Lex Luthor. This would have been embarrassing if he just started beating the crap out of Lex Luthor. So I think this is a good call. You just have Krypto come in and, literally pull a Hulk on Loki. Just riddle him.
They stop the black hole.
Soundgarden's not very happy.
The city has been ripped in two.
It's been torn asunder.
And all they end up doing is just putting the ruins back together again. Yeah, there's still a big crack in the ground.
You're going to tell me that you evacuated this entire city? No, there has to be casualties. People have plummeted into this damn ravine, into this black abyss.
So at the very end, Luthor is exposed about his whole role in this. And of course, the world at large, just like they believed Superman was bad, on the turn of a dime, they're like, oh, he's good, Luthor's bad. So
yeah, it's not how the world works nowadays. Yeah. But we did get another little cameo, Sean Gunn as Maxwell Lord.
Yes.
Which we saw last time we saw that character was in Wonder Woman 84, played by Pedro Pascal.
Apparently, in this universe, the financial backing behind the Justice Gang.
Yeah, he's in the comics. He is a financier, business guy that backs Justice League Europe and Justice League International. He's probably been around for a while, but interesting.
Yeah. So we get a big kiss between Clark and Lois at the end, floating in the air kiss, all is well. And this is also when we get the coda with Supergirl coming in from whatever Red Sun planet she came from. So she goes to the Red Sun universe so she can get drunk. But again, it means she has no powers when she goes to the Red Sun universe.
Yeah, inhibitions run wild.
So how does she get back and forth if she has no powers from the Red Sun universe?
Maybe she got a ship waiting.
Maybe she does.
That little baby ship that brought her there.
She says to Clark, thanks for watching my dog, bitch. Like, right. Don't talk to your cousin like that.
Completely dismissive of him. Yeah. Everything. She's oblivious to whatever he just went through. He's back to getting put back together, fix up the robots. Yeah, it's a Superman movie. It's a different Superman movie.
It is a different Superman movie. Now, what this feels like to me is that this should really be a part 2. I think we've seen the origin story of Superman so many times. Mm-hmm. But it is so integral to what this character is that I would have liked to have seen this actor go through that story. So
we do
means
have
a little bit more. You do,
alive.
But
you could get flashbacks
But it just feels like a part 2.
But it's like, how many times do you need to see Peter Parker get bit by a spider?
Well, I do like to see it, just as a comic fan. It just feels like there's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on here.
You can easily lose track of the story. Again, I lost track during the opening scroll, talking about these two countries. I'm like,
yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, because like you said, they're made up countries. So it's like they're not rolling off the tongue. And you have no point of reference to them whatsoever.
And Superman he's not the Superman of old where he's got everything under control. He needs help in order to beat the bad guys here.
But I think that's the problem with Superman. When you make somebody who is impervious and he's super, literally bullets bouncing off his chest, although we didn't see that here, he has to be somewhat vulnerable. And I think that this is a nice balance. Now, purists out there will probably be like, well, I don't want my Superman to have empathy or to be vulnerable.
He does need to be vulnerable, like maybe more so than some of the more recent iterations. But I do think that there is an element of too many cooks in the kitchen with this Justice Gang. What I was afraid of is that Superman would be like a guest in his own movie.
Yes, correct. Right.
With all these other characters. It doesn't get that far. It doesn't get that bad.
No, but it's close. It's a lot closer than what I expected, because I really went out on a limb and said multiple times that you're just going to see these tertiary characters in an opening sequence to establish a larger DC universe. And then it's going to concentrate on Clark Kent / Superman, and that's not the case.
Yeah,
you do get a lot thrown at you because they are trying to launch this new universe and establish it. And you're right, there's a lot going on here. But I was concerned that Gunn, because he has that very whimsical approach, I was worried that Superman was going to be too jokey, almost like a Chris Pratt, and that's not the case at all. I thought he was very human, which I think is on purpose. You're right. He's very emotional. He takes himself probably too seriously in trying to do the right thing. You know, you saw that with the monster where why do we have to kill this stupid thing? Can't we just take it to like you said, some intergalactic zoo? What
I'm losing though is I didn't get a sense of what the Superman is capable of, like even physically. Okay, what's his power set? I want to know what he can do.
Yeah, I think he only used his eye beams once.
Yeah, an establishing movie would have given you that, like as he's learning himself what he can do. But
no, I agree with that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you saw that in the original Superman where, he's running through the cornfield.
The spotlight just isn't always on him, and I would have liked it to have been more so. But I do like the fact that he is more vulnerable than some other iterations of the character that we have. And it's not just because of kryptonite either, because usually that's all that did it in the other movies.
Yes, kryptonite. Correct. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Get rid of this, I'm good to go.
But I understand the criticism that it's a good movie, but not a great Superman movie.
Okay.
I would say, to give out of 5 buckets, I would give Superman 3.5. This iteration of Superman, 3.5.
Yeah. I've been toying with this because I did like it. I liked it a lot. I walked out of the theater and I'm like, wow, I really liked Corenswet. I really liked the girl who played Lois. I thought that for whatever reason, Amy Adams, as much as I loved her, she just didn't do it for me as Lois Lane. I didn't even like Margot Kidder. I don't see what he ever saw in her. Well, anyways, I did like this spunky version of Lois Lane. I think the casting is pretty spot on.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It is much. I do think as a superhero, now I've seen where people are like, this is a 10 out of a 10, which I'm like, I'm not on board with that. I think there is some issues with it. Some people have very big issues with this, which I just find laughable. But I'm going to go 3 3/4. I'm going to go slightly higher than you. I think there's a lot of potential here.
Yes, I really like David Corenswet as Superman. I think he's great. I'm excited to see where they take the character next.
Yeah. Now, I would assume you do a Supergirl movie, he's going to be in it at some point. Cameo, maybe a throwaway cameo, just like she was in this one.
Yeah.
You take away Crypto from this movie and you take away Mr. Terrific, and it is a different movie. Mr. Terrific was fantastic. This character I was so blown away with. I enjoyed him immensely. I thought he was just a fun addition.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Listen, go out there, see it for yourself. Like you said, we spoiled the hell out of it. So if you sat through this and haven't seen it yet, you're like, well, maybe I don't even need to see it now. No, you go see it. Go see it with a full audience.
Full audiences are going to see this. It had a $225 million budget, it looks like, and it is well on its way to exceeding that total, and is headed for a possible record domestic box office debut of $115 million to $120 million. So
Okay.
There you have
the big problem is that we've got Fantastic Four right on its heels, and that is definitely going to eat into some of its profits.
Well, we were saying that about Jurassic World last week, is that this movie was eating into its profits, and now Fantastic Four is going to do the same to Superman. But at least Superman has 2 weeks.
That is true. I did see this. I found this hysterical. Did you know Nathan Fillion went on record and said that he based his portrayal of Guy Gardner on Estelle Getty's Golden Girls character?
Really?
Like, what? It just seems like a really odd choice. Yeah, maybe he just threw that out there as a joke. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's, the credits, the opening credits definitely kind of lean into the Richard Donner Superman. We talked about the John Williams theme. It's not in your face as much as it was in the trailer, but it is there. But like you said, otherwise, without that, it's just a serviceable soundtrack. It's not anything. I didn't even write down who created the soundtrack, but yeah, I'm happy for everyone involved. I thought it was entertaining.
Entertaining, definitely. It's a fun afternoon or night or evening or whatever at the movies.
Yeah.
So you will be satisfied. So there you have it. Let's go to the concession stand. What do you got
let's
for
go
us?
to the concession stand. So you're gonna laugh because much like your tenuous connection to last week's Goanji, and you wanted to go Big Red chewing gum.
Yep.
So I wanted to find a candy that tied into the super theme, and I settled on Mega Warheads Super Sour Candy.
Wow.
And then I realized the Super Sour is only just one of their flavors. It's not the actual name brand.
Oh, okay.
But this is where we're going. Warheads.
Mega Warheads.
Yeah, Mega Warheads. It used to be called Mega Warheads. Apparently now it's just Warheads. They got rid of the Mega.
Okay.
I guess that was too much. They couldn't oversell it. So Warheads Extreme Sour Hard Candy was invented in Taiwan in 1975. But it was not available in the U.S. until 1993 when the Foreign Candy Company brought it over.
Is that their name? The Foreign Candy Company?
The Foreign Candy Company, the actual name of the company. Yep. Yeah, they wear it right on their sleeves. So you got Foreign Candy? Yeah, no, that's in the name, yeah. Yeah. So if anyone's not familiar, Mega Warheads, as it was known originally, is a brand of sour or, I guess, tart candy. And the name Warheads comes from the notion that the sour taste of the candies is akin to a real warhead going off in one's mouth. How they know exactly what that is, I have no idea. But they are marketed as an extreme candy with an intense sour flavor. And this extreme sour flavor can produce visibly strong reactions from people experiencing them for the first time. And I guess they attributed citric acid is responsible for the candy's sour taste, which is prolonged by malic acid coated in hydrogenated palm oil. So if that doesn't whet your appetite to put one of these in your mouth, that just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, my stomach is twisting at the...
Now, have you ever had one of these? Do you even know what
No, my son is a big fan of Warheads.
Okay, well, apparently these are extremely popular, especially among young kids. And that there are numerous challenges and contests that we'll talk about in a little bit. So Warheads, the packaging actually contains a warning that says eating multiple pieces within a short time period may cause a temporary irritation to sensitive tongues and mouths.
What about intestine lining?
Well, that's the other thing too, which is, I guess there's some serious side effects. That's why they do the challenge. It's like these idiots that do the 1 gallon milk challenge, or the cinnamon challenge. There's more on. So I'll jump ahead a little bit. There's actually entire YouTube channels devoted to people shoving as many of these into their mouth as possible and seeing how long they can last. Yeah. So there are 5 flavors in the extreme sour hard candy variety. There's blue raspberry, lemon, green apple, which I'm always a fan of, black cherry, and watermelon. But there's an additional hard candy flavors that are sold as Smash Ups Extreme Sour. So everything that we talk about is just a regular sour hard candy. Now we have an extreme. And these flavors are cherry lime, orange pineapple, mango melon, lemon berry, and strawberry grape. But over the years, so in 2004, Impact Confections actually bought the brand, and so they still manufacture and distribute the candy to this day. So the foreign candy company is no longer associated with them, but Impact Confections. So we have several other types of candy that have been introduced over the years. We have Warheads Extreme Sour Hard Candy Minis, which are known as Juniors. We have Warheads Popping Candy. This is just a laundry list.
Right.
Super Sour Spray, which is where I thought the super came from. Sour Jelly Beans. Super Sour Double Drops. So this is like a liquid?
Yes. That's my son likes the liquid variety.
Yeah, just pour that sugar directly onto your tongue. The citric acid, the ascorbic acid.
There's one, I believe, maybe you haven't gotten to it yet, that's on a roller ball, like deodorant.
Oh, I don't know which one. Oh, that might be. So there's sour cubes, little worms, ooze chews, sour booms, and Warhead sour twists. So at one point during the 90s, Warheads were referred to as a $40 million brand. So people are all in on this thing. In 2017, Warheads introduced a sub-brand, Hotheads, which featured extreme heat worms. So it's a line of spicy gummy worms.
Oh.
And scorching heat twists, which are licorice bites filled with what I guess can only be described as extreme hot lava. This stuff sounds nasty.
It does. And why? It seems like it would be unpleasant to eat it.
Well, but that's, I think, part of the charm is that it is so overpowering that people are like, you can't stop. It's like an addiction. It's like sticking your tongue on a battery.
I guess maybe you build up a
tolerance.
A tolerance for it.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I can put 3 more in my mouth. So there's a mascot. Every package from day one is this. The character is called Wally Warhead, and it's a cartoon depiction of a boy with puckered lips and a small mushroom cloud emanating from the top.
Emanating
of his head.
From his posterior?
No, from his head. Yeah, eventually it would be. So many claim that the lemon Warheads are the most sour, but apparently black cherry is a close second. I don't know if I want to touch any of them.
You would think that the lemon would take the cake there, yeah, because that's already naturally sour.
Yeah. I mean, lemon by nature, yeah. Warhead Sour Bubblegum was actually banned due to its extremely high acidity, which posed a risk of causing irritation and harm to the mouth and gums, and as you alluded to, probably your rear end as well. Yeah. And they always tell you never swallow bubblegum, but we all done it. We've all done it. Not a single one of us out there listening right now can say, I've never swallowed bubblegum.
You could say, you know what Johnny Storm feels like when he says flame on. At least 1 inch of you in diameter could replicate that.
It may be 2 inches by the time you're done. Yeah. There's a citation I found on Wikipedia for an article that was, the link was broken, but the headline read, sour candy is almost as bad for your teeth as battery acid. So I'm like, why are people even eating this? So again, yeah, there's these extreme food challenges where these people on YouTube are like shoving this stuff into their mouth. How long can you last?
You do hear about people perishing for some of these challenges.
Yeah, because people are dumb.
Yeah.
Wow, my friends are doing this, I got to do it. So they're out there. These videos are out there. And the only thing I want to bring to the table, so apparently the Chicago Tribune had a review. They had like a candy department that was reviewing some of these flavors. And one of them, they had this to say about the new grape flavor, which I guess is the Warhead liquid candy. I would recommend this to people who adore flavored tooth fluoride. Yuck.
Brush your teeth with it.
Makes me want to go out and eat it. So apparently there's a whole subculture of Warheads out there that people are dying to. And I will tell you, after watching our next feature, and I saw that explosive ectoplasm that they were ecto-cooler that they were making. I'm like, oh, maybe this is how they invented Warheads. It probably grew plants in your stomach too, just like you swallow watermelon.
Yeah.
So there you go, Warheads. Extreme sour hard candy.
Swamp Thing.
This is quite a movie.
It is. I'm sure you've seen this before.
Long time ago. I watched this like it's the first time I've ever seen it. Meanwhile, my wife looked up and she's like, I remember this movie. But she kept saying it was a Hulk movie. And I'm like, no, it's the Swamp Thing. She goes, but he's green. I said, yeah, but it's not the Hulk.
Yeah, but look at him. He's got vines.
Yeah.
This is like a broken record, but this was played on HBO.
I think that's why my wife knew it. Yeah, probably played. Yeah.
They played this over and over and over again. So you got some side boob action right in the middle of the day.
We get Adrienne Barbeau side boob.
And apparently European audiences got much more of her than we did because there's an R-rated version out in Europe.
Which was accidentally pressed here in the States, and then they had to recall all the DVD copies. I'm wondering if those are still out there somewhere. They're probably like worth a pretty penny. Yeah, because she was not too happy. So she's fine and content showing her boobs off to Europeans, but not Americans.
Yeah, well, they are more refined over there.
I would like to tell Ms. Barbeau right now, I'm very refined. I'm okay seeing this. I have no problems with this. Sounds like it sounds like a you problem. Yeah. So 1982. So we really didn't have a lot of superhero movies in 1982.
We had Superman. That was it.
Superman was 78, which is a pretty freaking high bar.
And we had the Marvel TV stuff.
Oh, we're talking about Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man?
Yep, and Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk.
Reb Brown. Reb Brown as Captain America.
And we had Doctor Strange as well on TV.
I don't remember Doctor Strange.
There was a TV movie, Doctor Strange, on CBS. Wasn't a series. It was just a TV movie.
We did get that one episode of was it the Trial of the Incredible Hulk where we had Thor and Daredevil.
Although that was later in the 80s.
Was later?
That was later in the 80s.
Well, I'll tell you right now, this plays out like an episode of the Incredible Hulk.
It does.
And A-Team for that matter.
It does, although I think that those shows had better effects budgets than this did.
Well, I don't know. They spend all their money on those ramps to shoot the boats into the air because they sure as hell didn't spend money on that suit. Just a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah, and with gloves. So whenever you see a close-up of his hand, it's just like a guy wearing gloves.
I know you want to talk about the bad guy at the end.
Oh, man.
But you know what blew my mind to begin with? Wes Craven directed this?
Yes.
Wes Craven? How did this guy get work after this?
And the next thing he did after this was Nightmare on Elm
Street, which was his story. I would look at this and be like, dude, you're never working in Hollywood again. This is horrible. And I will tell you, I watched it on Tubi, and it looks like it was ripped right from a VHS. It was bad.
My library had the early 2000s DVD, so it was bare bones. There was no special features. Yeah, the picture wasn't anything to write home about.
But I think that's maybe part of the charm of it. I think if it was cleaned up, it would be even worse. Except for that scene where she's cleaning off. Then maybe I want to see that in high definition. And just put that on a loop.
For an hour and a half, yeah.
For an hour and a half. I need about 20 seconds. You're giving me a lot of credit. So as we mentioned, Adrienne Barbeau, we're introduced to her off the bat.
When the name comes up for the credits, it should be like 5 B's. Bub, 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 bub.
I do. Yeah, I want to give props to the costume department because they put her in a party dress at the end of this movie, and you're like, all right, well played.
It's very much helped by her posture at the end of the movie as well. Adrienne, could you stick out your chest a little bit more?
Yeah, come on. We paid you a lot of money. We want to see your assets.
But you get more of an opening scroll here.
More reading, yeah.
In an unmapped swamp.
How many swamps have we mapped? Oh, damn it. This one's unmapped.
The creative genius of one man collided with another's evil dream, and a monster was born.
That's more romantic than anything else that happens in this movie.
If I was a kid watching this for the first time, I'd have no idea what was happening in the first 10 minutes because it's not spelled out for you whatsoever.
No, I couldn't. Because originally I thought she was some kind of a reporter, but then later she calls in like she's a spy. And then you find out that she's actually working for the bad guy. So I was a little confused.
So she comes in on a helicopter over the swamp. This is Adrienne Barbeau's character. What was her character's name here?
Alice Cable.
Alice Cable. So she is replacing, from what I can work out from Wikipedia, what's going on here. There is a secret government lab in the swamp, and this is where Alec Holland is doing his experiments with plants to either feed the world or make a weapon. I don't know what.
This is what's confusing because you have an Alice, you have an Alec, and you have Arcane.
Yeah,
you couldn't come up with different names. The only thing that would have confused me more is that they named this place the Alligator Alcatraz.
So Holland is trying to come up with this formula to grow plants in inhospitable environments, I guess, to make food where you can't normally make food. So it's a lofty goal. So
sure,
so far so good. So Adrienne Barbeau's character comes in to take the place of another lab assistant who was eaten by an alligator.
Oh, this is the guy at the beginning that they fed to the snake?
No, that was somebody else.
So we don't know what happened to this person.
There's a secret government lab where they're trying to make this formula to save the world. If they just actually said this in the movie, it would help much more. There's also a private militia in the swamp who was hired by...
There you go.
Louis Jourdan, who is the mad scientist, he's hired this private militia to take out the lab and to steal their findings.
This is like commandos in the Creole jungle.
Yes, and one of them has a poisonous snake in his pocket.
Death by adder.
And that's not a joke. He literally has a snake in his pocket, and he is happy to see you.
Yeah. We'll add Anaconda to the list.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger taking the ferret out of his trunk because they capture this one guy from the lab in the swamp. He's like, oh, wait a second. What do I have in my pocket?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a rattlesnake. Adrienne Barbeau is on site at the lab long enough just to really flirt with Alec Holland to build a little rapport with him before he becomes Swamp Thing.
There you go. Just enough. You gotta just kind of flaunt it out there.
And this Alec Holland here in his human form is played by Ray Wise, who we've seen many times in many movies, many TV shows as a character actor. He's usually the bad guy. But here he is the hero of the movie, at least for the first 15 minutes.
If that.
Yeah. So eventually they hit upon the formula. But just as they do, the bad guy militia comes in and they start killing everybody. They burn the place to the ground. In the process, Alec Holland spills the formula on himself, catches fire, and runs out of the lab fully engulfed in flame.
And proceeds to blow up in the swamp multiple times.
Jumps into the swamp and multiple explosions ensue.
This looks like straight up Ecto Cooler. But before he actually spills it on himself, we see that it spilled on the ground at one point. The lab assistant, Linda, dumps it. And it makes the wood planks on the floor grow. This is it. They got it to work just in time for it to be spilled all over him. How many DC characters get their powers from a chemical accident in a lab? Every one of them. They were walking her through the lab when she first got there. He takes out this critter and he calls it a Cooper's digger, which kind of looked like a possum, but I looked it up. It's not even a real creature. Why would you just make up a name for a creature? Call it a swamp rat.
Maybe that was literally his name, like Bob or Doug. Cooper's digger.
This is Cooper's digger. It's my digger. It's my Cooper. I also take offense to the fact that when she first landed, they told her that the nearest restaurant was in Washington. The nearest good food was in Washington, where you came from. You're in Louisiana. Have you never been to New Orleans? some pretty good food there. Stupid jerks. So anyways, it doesn't matter because Ecto Cooler blows up. Their plans are all whatever. He gets,
and it turns out Arcane, Louis Jourdan, has been wearing a good guy mask, and he's been in the camp with everybody.
So this
he just rips off the mask.
This is right out of Scooby-Doo.
Or Mission Impossible 2.
Well, at least they pulled it off there.
But of course, Adrienne Barbeau, she survives when the camp is attacked. She hides the key notebook of Alec Holland like under some rubble so Arcane can't get to it. And then she's on the run.
Yeah, she's wearing a Hawaiian shirt in the green jungles, and yet they can't find her.
No.
The one thing I did like about this, these transitions are like straight out, like right out of Batman. You get like some ooey, drippy, cartoony explosion thingies and some the transition wipes from scene to scene.
It was commendable that Craven was leaning into it, even that early.
Which is interesting because he had I read he was forbidden from reading comic books as a kid growing up because he was associated with this church. And,
I hope they never saw his movies.
he's now banned from the church altogether. I think it's pretty true to the source material.
Even with Arcane, what he turns into at the end?
No, that was like straight up friggin' Power Rangers. I don't know what was going on there.
That was like going into Kmart and finding like the dumbest Halloween mask that you could.
Suit that this guy grows into at the end is just it's horrible. Swamp Thing, the comic book had only come out a couple years before this.
In the 70s, right? It was like
correct,
so maybe a decade before this.
Yeah, and Bernie Wrightson and Len Wein, who also helped create Wolverine, were associated with that. So, but they do find her. They do find her, and he tries to drown her in like waist-high water. And I'm like, every time he pushes her down, those flotation devices are just pushing her back to the surface. There's no way you're going to kill.
Why is this so hard?
Just like trying to kill Superman.
His name is Ferret, the guy who had the snake in his pants, who's the main militia bad guy.
Later, Swamp Thing had a snake in his pants when she was washing up.
Oh, I think everybody did. But this guy Ferret is played by David Hess, who I was having PTSD because he's like the main bad guy in Last House on the Left, which is another Wes Craven movie. And so I will never watch that movie again. But he's so goofy in this movie that it's forgivable because he's chomping on a cigar and he's trying to drown Adrienne Barbeau. Say hello to your boyfriend, baby. And then
he's weird.
And then the hand comes out of the swamp and grabs him. Yeah, so that's the first time you see the Swamp Thing.
Yeah, we're told something incredible came out of the swamps, and I'm like, a payphone. That's the most incredible thing I saw in this movie. In the middle of the swamps, a payphone. Yeah.
But most of the movie is Adrienne Barbeau running from the militia, getting caught by the militia, escaping the militia, and then getting caught again. Right. Just repeat, and Swamp Thing saving her.
I think he's just he's just hanging out there waiting for her to scream.
We're waiting for her to take a bath. That's what he's waiting for.
Yeah. But like I said, this is every episode of The Incredible Hulk growing up. This is crazy. But then she meets at the payphone. She meets this kid that's running this store all by himself.
Who is like
who's out there? Who's stopping at that store? It's in the middle of the swamp.
And it's the kid's store. There's nobody else there. Does he own it?
I don't know. And
this kid is like 12.
I know. And I felt really bad because I wrote, this kid cannot act. And then I find out he was a local that they hired just so they didn't have to abide by the SAG rules for children working.
So his name is Jude. And I think he's the MVP of the movie. He has the two best lines when he sees her coming. Here comes trouble, he says.
Yeah. And then when he wakes up and he sees the Swamp Thing, he goes, well, there goes the neighborhood. Yeah. But they kill him. They kill the kid. They can't kill her. Every time they have her, they just wrangle her.
Yeah.
They killed everybody else, but they don't kill her, but they kill the kid. Thankfully, Swamp Thing has mystical healing powers.
Yeah, it's like E.T. Wes Craven actually says that he thinks Steven Spielberg ripped this off. I'm like,
Well, I'm pretty sure Spielberg's the good one.
He would have to actually see this movie.
Yeah,
he would actually have to see this movie to rip that off.
But at one point, the guy, when they were reporting back, and they go to Arcane, and he goes, "It was an abdominal snowman's." I'm like, what? And then somebody said it was a swamp thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he said that. He said it. He said the name of the movie.
And there's one great scene, which was in the HBO commercial for this, when the Swamp Thing stops the Jeep, when they're like, run him down. And he just stands there and stops it. And then he rips the hood off and he does the Incredible Hulk slow motion throws of the bad guys out of the, which is pretty cool. 18
level. I thought that one guy was Boss Hogg. I was like, it's not.
But yeah, as we said, the movie kind of repeats itself for most of its runtime.
And it's not even that long of a movie.
No, it's not.
An hour and a half at the most.
But the character of Arcane is looking for Adrienne Barbeau because she has the seventh notebook.
How do they know she has this book, though?
Because she actually, remember, she called...
that's right.
Headquarters.
She calls the headquarters on an unsecured line.
And he ends up getting the call because he impersonated the guy he was wearing the mask of earlier.
There you go. That's okay. Because I wrote, she works for Arcane? No, he was pretending to be her boss.
Yes. So she said that she had the notebook. So from that point on, he knew that she had the notebook.
Yeah.
But he wants to replicate the formula to rule the world, to keep all the food for himself.
He sure didn't want to feed the hungry.
And that lab assistant that is in his house that is so fawning over him, that calls him sir all the time, that was Wes Craven's wife at the time.
Oh.
The blonde girl.
Well, wasn't Adrienne Barbeau married to John Carpenter at this time?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Okay.
But yeah, Jude gets killed.
Going on here.
Jude gets killed by the militia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They killed a kid.
And it looks like they shoot him in the face or something.
I don't know.
He's got blood all over his face.
But I don't know what he did, but he brought him back to life.
Yeah, he's got.
Does he still have a gaping hole in his head?
No, I hope not. And then you see him, the Swamp Thing, trying to do like beaker experiments in the crushed lab, and he can't, and he gets all mad.
He's like Frankenstein's monster. Oh, beaker no work.
So this is when we get the scene where Adrienne Barbeau feels she's too dirty. She's got to go clean herself in the swamp and takes a bath. And we get
side boob.
Legendary side boob.
Yes. His spring.
So this scene is 2 minutes longer in the European cut. We would have gotten 2 minutes.
It just cuts as it looks like she's getting a full frontal, getting ready to come out of the water. But this is after he got his arm cut off.
Yeah, and you see that arm growing back. I'm like, is that his arm that's growing?
But I'm like, this guy's going to have to spend the rest of the movie with his arm tucked inside that suit, running around with just that stump, which at some points looked like it was on his back.
When they first cut his arm off, he was just lounging in the sunlight, and it wasn't growing back.
No, it started growing back when he's in the friggin' dungeon. I'm like, that didn't make any sense at all.
No.
But he did take that guy and pop his head like a zit.
But I do have to say, because this is Dick Durock, who plays Swamp Thing. Facially, they're right on with what the character looks like in the comics.
Yes. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you read that they actually filmed all of his sequences with the original Ray Weiss as the monster? So there's two different versions of this movie. So they filmed the original guy, and then they said it just wasn't working with him as the creature.
Yeah, because I think what they wanted was to have this Dick Durock play him because he's a very tall actor, like in long shots and stuff like that. But the footage wasn't matching up between the real actor and Dick Durock. So they just went with Dick Durock for the whole thing.
Yeah. And I guess he's gone on and played this character a few times. He was also in the Return of the Swamp Thing, and he was in the TV show.
And he's the guy, he has a cameo out of makeup in here. He's the guy getting on the helicopter in the very beginning when Barbeau gets off. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Barbeau is captured again and is now put in a very revealing.
Yes, they give her a nice little party dress.
They tie her up, and all these. There's like 100 people at this party that Louis Jourdan.
I don't know where they came from. Right.
There's a hostage there, tied up to a chair. They're all fine with it. right? And not only is she tied up, but she's tied up underneath her bosom, so it's pushing it up.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the only way I'm going to come to the party.
And he's celebrating because he has replicated the formula. And the one guy, the militia guy who's survived, he's like, Bruno, you are my guest of honor. You brought me the notebook. You brought me the formula.
Toast.
And he's like, as a matter of repayment, you're going to be my guinea pig. You've just drank the formula yourself.
Dude, I paused and rewatched this 3 times because it is so absurd. I'm like, he turned into Wee Man. He starts,
but before he falls under the table and comes back up again. He starts doing a curly, like, woo,
yes.
woo, woo,
woo. It's like Evan's like. Yeah, it is so over the top, and then he falls under the table, and when he comes back, he's like a little 2-foot guy. I said, is that Dobby the house elf?
He's like half animal from the island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, but his clothes still fit.
But his clothes shrunk with him.
His clothes shrunk with him. It's so stupid. It is the better transformation, though.
Oh, yeah. So Louis Jourdan goes down to the Swamp Thing, who is also a prisoner. Yeah. Why didn't it work on Bruno? Because it just amplifies what's already there.
Yeah, your essence.
Yeah.
It's like Bruno's was stupidity. It's like, then why'd you give it to him?
But he says, but if a genius took it,
then you're going to be a smart plant. Okay.
Yeah, then you're going to be a smart plant.
Yeah, and that's actually the scene where his hand starts to mutate was pretty decent effect.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah,
before
the rest of it, not so much. Yeah. But you're right. Why didn't his arm grow back when he was in the sun? It waits until he's in the dungeon.
Touching one little ray of sunlight.
Right, correct.
And then it grows back.
Yeah. Yeah. But this arcane mutation is just insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Because he grows like a garbage bag around his body.
Like a cocoon, right? And then
he rips, and he rips out of it in slow motion, as if they're trying to let the camera linger on this thing for longer.
No, you gotta go as fast as possible. You gotta just get this over with.
So it kind of looks like one of the lesser beasts from the cantina scene, and that's giving it a lot of credit. I was going to
say that's a lot of credit. This is like I said, this is Power Rangers level.
This is like if somebody from Kmart made a mask after they saw the cantina scene from Star Wars. Right.
He's a boar with a sword.
It kind of with very wide eyes. Yes.
Yeah, because it doesn't emote in any way, shape,
and he's got like a long hair covering the zipper down the back of the suit.
You gotta cover that up. It is bad. It is so bad. I would be embarrassed to put my name to this. Then they get into a fight, and what does the Swamp Thing do? He hides behind Adrienne Barbeau. He's like, I'm just gonna hide behind you.
So Swamp Thing and Adrienne Barbeau get back to the swamp. Arcane Monster follows them with a sword in hand. So he ends up stabbing her in the boob.
Yeah.
He stabs her. Well,
of all the places, dude.
You can't miss it, right?
Yeah, well, I think it was just Dick Durock was like, how about I have to heal her, so how about we put it right there? But he just put moss on it.
He put moss on it, but then he rubbed as he took his hand away. He didn't just take his hand up. He rubbed it across before he took it away.
Good man.
You see, he's trying to feel as much as he can through those gloves.
Oh, this poor woman. She's like, I am not getting paid enough for this shit. But yeah. And then he just beats the living crap and ends up killing the pig beast. Yeah. Arcade.
Bludgeons him with like the trunk of a tree or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, when you're in the swamp, well, listen, there's no snakes around to beat him with. But then he starts bleeding orange creamsicle foam. Like what? I don't know what's going on there.
And then he finally stabs him with his own sword, and Arcane is dead. Okay, it's a happy ending. Adrienne Barbeau's breasts are back to fighting shape.
He does save her.
What are we going to do now? The world isn't ready for me. Well, how can I do my experiments looking like this? I'll be your hands, she says. No, I need to heal. You need to tell our story. Until then.
No one's going to believe me, dude. There's not a single soul out there that's going to listen to me. And then he went into the water and he came out a monster. Yeah, okay, lady. Nice party dress.
So they end it with a sequel in mind, obviously.
Sure.
which did happen, but not for years later and with another actress.
Heather Locklear, right?
Yeah. I doubt very much that she did side boob in her movie.
I don't know.
Jude comes running at the end. You can't, you have to have one more scene with him. He told me to come get you.
Can I be in the sequel?
Yeah. And it ends right there. Oh, wow.
This is bad.
If it wasn't bad up until Louis Jourdan changes, that takes this into a whole other level of bad.
I was
even as a kid,
I might have been on board.
I knew that this was bad even as a kid, but it was good bad even then to me, because I saw it probably when I was 12 on HBO, and again I watched it every time it was on.
Sure.
And I knew that this thing looked ridiculous at the end, but I still enjoyed the movie. Not so much now, maybe as like a nostalgia kind of a thing. Yeah, it's bad.
It is bad. Like I said, I'm surprised Wes Craven never got work again after this. And Adrienne Barbeau, she did the Catwoman voice on Batman the Animated.
Yeah, and she did Creepshow, I think, the same year.
That was the same year. Yeah. Both times she said, I can hold my breath for a long time.
I watched the trailer because at least that was on the DVD.
Okay.
And the tagline, Adrienne Barbeau and Swamp Thing, an outrageous pair. That's real. I didn't make that up.
Somebody got an extra paycheck that week. Wow. All right. So we're not too far off on our
no.
analysis of this.
So Wes Craven actually says, if you looked at any of the IMDb notes on this, there's a version of the DVD out there with a commentary. I didn't have that.
Okay.
But it does list some highlights from his commentary. And he thinks that his career would have been over after this if it wasn't for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, well, he rebounded. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy. What a turd this movie is. Like I said, I think if I watched it at a higher resolution, it would have been even worse. So maybe watching it in this VHS muddled mess of sitting through commercials on Tubi was probably the proper way to see it. Yeah. I have to sit at like 2 2.25.
2.25. I'm gonna give maybe 2 3/4 on this, and that's just for the nostalgia factor, just because I watched it so much when I was a kid. As you said before, the international cut mistakenly made its way to the US DVD in May of 2002. It was discovered when a Dallas woman rented it from Blockbuster for her children, since it was a PG superhero movie, and reported the discrepancy. So those kids have never been the same since.
No.
MGM recalled the disc and reissued it in August 2005. They actually reached out to Adrienne Barbeau and asked her if she was okay with it being out before they recalled it.
Sure.
And she said no.
Which is weird because, again, she signs a contract to allow it in the UK. And I know that there's actors and people that go over there and make commercials that they would never do here in the States. But if it's out there, you want to pay me? You want to pay me a lot of money now in this day and age where someone can just rip it and throw it up on YouTube.
But according to this, MVD Entertainment Group released an Ultra HD Blu-ray in 2023, which includes both versions of the movie.
So I think
maybe her contract ran out, maybe after a certain number of years.
See, I think she missed out that she could have easily gotten a couple more dollars.
Yeah.
Because I guess you could claim, I don't know, breach of contract, something.
It's kind of fun to watch it now.
It is. I could not get over that end sequence when he mutates into this weird pig-looking thing. I'm just like, what are we doing? There's just no money left in the budget whatsoever.
Another snippet from the commentary on IMDb is when the moderator who was running the commentary asked Wes Craven what he thought when he first saw Louis Jourdain's transformation suit, the only response was a deep sigh in the commentary.
An appropriate response.
But I think, like, at that point, you just got to lean into it. Okay, this is a piece of crap, and that's what I'm making, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you go back and you're like, all right, we're going to create schlock, but I mean, I think they really were trying to make a decent movie. It just it was stacked against them. I would assume that in the sequel, they would at least have a better Swamp Thing suit. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
And then the fact that you're on television, TV, I mean, he's showing up every week. So,
yeah.
That was in the 90s, though, I think. That was later.
Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars.
No, I was going to say 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, he's got 3 thumbs up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Have we exhausted all the Barbeau booby jokes?
I think we have.
Yeah,
yes.
I think we have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So have we done anything else this week?
I did. You know what I did?
What did we do?
I finally got on Disney Plus. I watched the Jaws 50th, the definitive inside story documentary that is out now.
Oh, okay.
It's almost 2 hours, and I will say it's for a movie that I've seen numerous times, and anytime there's behind the scenes features, I mean, the movie's been around for 50 years, so you've heard every story. How many times can you hear Richard Dreyfuss? The shark is broken. Repeat, the shark is broken. That only shows up once in this entire doc. There's a lot of talk. It's a newer interview with Spielberg. And he talked extensively about just how brutal it was to make this and every wrong decision he ever made. And they give a lot of love to the special effects department in building the sharks and how they pulled it off. A lot of love to the people because they used, I mean, outside of like the 7 main actors, everyone else was from Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
They were all locals. And there's a lot of interviews with, guys who were kids, in the scenes. And they talk about, remembering, the day on set. And they really, until they actually watched the premiere of the movie, which was on Martha's Vineyard, like they had no clue just what they were in for.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But for the most part, Richard Dreyfuss is not really on here compared to where I've seen him in the past. A lot of Spielberg, a lot of old footage of Quint. What's the actor's name?
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw and his son. And they talk about, a lot of old stuff with Scheider. It's as much as you think you know everything about this movie, and yet I still learned some stuff. So it was cool. It's on Disney Plus of all places.
Wow. Yeah. The movie itself is showing up on Disney Plus now.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
There you go.
What else did you do this week is actually, it hasn't happened yet. I've been gearing up to this, and it's premiering tonight, actually. The day that we record is July 13th, and this is the 40th anniversary of Live Aid from 1985.
Oh.
So CNN are doing a 4-part documentary, 8 hours total.
Okay.
And part 1 airs tonight, and it's going to be on each Sunday from this point on for the next 4 weeks.
So for an entire month?
For an entire month, about the backstage story of Live Aid.
I might have to just set my DVR because I'm never going to remember that.
Yeah, it's on CNN. So yeah, do it after we stop recording today.
Okay. I already took a note, so
yeah.
Interesting. CNN Live Aid. Wow. How many years ago was that? That was
40.
Seems like yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
And I sat and watched it all day long.
I was going to say, started your love affair with
David Bowie.
David Bowie. Cool. Let's check it out. So what are we doing next episode?
What are we doing? We are covering the new Marvel, Fantastic Four.
This is a long time. This one, you want to talk about waiting for Superman? This is going to be big. I'm nervous about this. I'm going to be honest.
Because the Thing, right? You still can't get over
Well,
the Thing.
I think I'm not sold on Pedro Pascal. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really just kind of hold my breath with this one because I almost feel this is just like we just talked about DCU's reboot. This is in large part a Marvel reboot. This is the Marvel's premier family of superheroes, ushered in every other superhero that came after them. And I think that this could make or break the next couple years of Marvel Phase 6, I think, is what we're in right now.
Yeah. The John Byrne run of Fantastic Four is one of my favorite runs ever.
Yeah,
comics.
sure. I mean, we were of the ripe age when he took over. Yeah, I adore those stories.
So they've always loomed very large, for me, maybe second only to Spider-Man as my favorite title. And so it's always been disappointing, the cinematic Fantastic Fours that have come before this. So I'm thinking this can only be an upgrade. If anything, it's going to be better than what's come before. Even from what I've heard, I don't watch the trailer, but from what I've heard of the trailer, I already am liking it better than the other movies. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see.
Well, just like there's Snyder apologists out there, I'm sure someone's going to be fighting for Josh Trank's version. I actually didn't mind it. I'm going to say this, which we will talk about. And I think we mentioned it before. There's a doc out there on the making of the Roger Corman Fantastic Four. And it's actually incredibly fascinating.
Is it really?
Yes, because everyone who was hired for this really thought that they were making a real movie, not just a grab to maintain the rights to this thing. This Roger Corman movie, which is shown up on bootlegs on VHS and local comic conventions for years. They have a lot of stuff on there. And I think I'm going to go back and rewatch it for this episode.
What, do you have it on bootleg somewhere?
No, the documentary.
But where is it?
I think it's on. I think I found it on. I watched it recently. The Untold Story of Roger Corman's. It is on Prime.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep. It is called Doomed. The Untold Story of Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four.
Well, maybe I'll watch that too.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, it was quite fascinating. Who knew? So there you go.
What are we covering along with Fantastic Four?
Oh, I think we're going back into Spielberg territory. Well, not really. It's an homage to Spielberg, but it's
an homage. An
homage. It's a J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, we tried to do another number-related title, so we realized that we had never covered Super 8.
Super 8. 2 supers in a row. Wow.
Yeah. Are kids on bikes in this movie? Do bikes?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And there's train crashes. There's aliens.
I haven't seen this since it was in the theater, so this will be fun for me.
I want to say I own this on disc, but I could be wrong. But I have seen this more than once, so maybe I think I do own it.
Yeah.
Might be the Blu-ray. I'll have to check it out. But
so Fantastic Four and Super 8.
Yeah, and we'll see which one holds up. So until next time.
Yes, until next time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand.
Oh, that's a lot of things.